You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
Get ready. It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
Welcome. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guy. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and on the line, got DC chiming in. What's going on tonight, DC?
Ready for this Saints game, man. We'll break down these problems.
That's right. That's podcast 230 on the podcast. We'll be covering in this episode Saints versus the Browns as the Browns come to town. We'll be previewing that game today on this episode. We also have some Saints news, injury news, and release news we're going to give to you today on podcast 230. We'll also give you guys the Sports Coma question of the day. We'll break that down to you and let you know what that is, which is, will the Saints beat the Cleveland Browns this time? Of course, there's a little history to that question, and we'll get into it when the time comes to break down that in more in depth. And without further ado, before we get going, I'd like to thank all of our new listeners and our established listeners for chiming in today for podcast 230 as we get ready to preview the Saints and the Browns. So let's get right into it, DC. Of course, the Saints, they're facing off against the Browns. The Saints injury report, they're going to need the players to kind of combat with the Browns because this is not the same old Browns clubs, the garbage Browns that we've been knowing around. So we're going to need a couple of our guys to play. And Wednesday, the Saints released the injury report. And on the injury report, they had a few notable names to make mention of on the show. Nose tackle Tyler Davison is dealing with an injury to his foot. He did not practice on Wednesday, but he was also one of 3 Saints that were held out of practice. There's no word saying Tyler Davison won't play in this game. We saying that it was, according to what they said, they labeled it as a short-term injury. We don't know exactly what that means, but all indications are that Tyler Davison is supposed to play. He underwent an MRI after the game, and then they believe that the injury won't linger for too long. So that's good news. Also, wide receivers Ted Ginn Jr. had a knee issue, and Michael Thomas had an undisclosed illness. Both of those guys were not at practice. And obviously, we know why Michael Thomas has his undisclosed illness. He was sick because of the call that the referees made again the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where the referee said that he was touched down, and you go look at the footage and no one touched him. He's still sick from that. Of course, left tackle Teron.
I think he was sick too when he looked at the scouting report and realized that the Browns have a better record than the Saints. This has to be a first.
Also, left tackle Teron Armstead, he had a knee issue. That's a big surprise, right? Andrews Pete still dealing with that ankle, and both of them were limited in practice, although Armstead's injury is not a major issue according to sources. Now, as far as the Browns are concerned, the only player on there that didn't practice for them was Emmanuel Ogba, the defensive lineman. Cornerback E.J. Gaines' knee and linebacker Christian Kirksey shoulder were limited in practice. Now, that's the injury report. Also, to speak about another thing going on, the Saints also made another move today as well, as they brought back offensive lineman German Bushrod as he comes back, but the Saints make a corresponding move by releasing offensive lineman Michael Ola, who the team activated for the first game of the week. Obviously, they felt like Bushrod, who was dealing with an injury, but he is now back, so they release Ola to the street. So you get Bushrod back in a corresponding move. So, DC, what do you think about some of these moves? Of course, the injury report and the flip-flopping of offensive lineman Bushrod for Ola. Any thoughts on that?
If it wasn't due to the injury, I'd be like, what the hell? But we know that Bushrod was hurt, and that's why they got rid of him last time. So I get it. But Ola, I don't think should have ever been on this team to begin with. either way. He played horrible during the preseason. I don't know why we kept him around. But these injuries, I think we may have a silver lining for a few of them. Our backups are competent, so if any of those, I think we still going to be competitive and we're going to make a run at getting our first win in the season, man. I don't think nothing really could stop us after coming off a game. How we played last week, everybody's going to be just itching to get back out there and prove that they aren't that team.
Absolutely, without a doubt. I know according to what Cam Jordan's comments were in the post game, he was pretty serious about what he was saying. And, of course, you can look at some of the faces of guys like Marshawn Lattimore and Demario Davis. Those are prideful guys, man. I mean, you're talking about guys that take it serious. Their jobs are really serious. And they have a lot of true professionals on that team that really felt like they let the teammates down and the city down by putting on that type of performance in front of a sold-out Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And I expect fully these true professionals to rise back to the occasion and make it right for the city and for themselves moving forward. Now, getting into the Saints versus the Browns, a lot of people thinking, the customary traditional fans that watch and say, of course we're going to beat the Browns. The Browns been junked. They've been trashed. They've been garbage. You can hear the garbage truck backing up right now. They've been bad for a lot of years. This year around, I'm telling you, of course, they brought in a new general manager that knows football. They've added some football players to this team. This is not the traditional garbage Brown clubs. And by the way, the Saints, the last two times the Saints have played the Cleveland Browns, the Browns have beaten them. And we're going to go back, and I'm going to take a look at some, and I ain't going to spend a lot of time on it. But if you go back, the last time they played the team back in 2014, the Browns beat them 26-24 in Cleveland. And, of course, Drew Brees in that game was 27-40 for 237 yards. He had 2 touchdowns and an interception. But the Browns were able to drop the Saints to an 0-2 record when Billy Condiff kicked a 29-yard field goal with 3 seconds left to lift them to a 26-24 win over the Saints in Cleveland. So Jimmy Graham was the top receiver in that game. He had 10 catches for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mark Ingram had 11 carries for 83 yards and 1 touchdown. Brian Hoyer was the quarterback at that time. He had 24 of 40 for 204 yards, 1 touchdown. Terrence West was the running back at 19 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown. And Hawkins was the wide receiver, 6 catches for 70 yards. Now, to go back 4 more years, other time they played them, the Browns smashed the hell out of the Saints, 30-17. 30-17. And Drew Brees was the main reason why they lost that game. If you remember going all the way back to there, Drew Brees was 37 of 56. He had 356 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 4 interceptions in that game. 4 interceptions. 2 of those 4 interceptions were pick sixes that ultimately decided to score. Chris Ivory was the leading back. He had 15 carries for 48 yards. Marcus Colston was the top receiver, 10 catches, 112 yards. And 1 touchdown in the game. Now, for the Browns, Colt McCoy was the quarterback, 9 of 16 for 74 yards. Peyton Hillis was the running back, 16 carries, 69 yards in the score. But like I said, that was pretty much the defense that did it to the Saints because of Drew Brees. Probably one of his worst games as a Saint. Now, with all that Brown and Saint history that I done laid out, DC, bringing it to the current day, what happens in this game? Do the Saints get their first win of the season against the Cleveland Browns?
I think the Saints definitely get their first win of the season against the Cleveland Browns because we're winless. I believe if the Saints, this was maybe like a week 8, week 12 game, I think Cleveland will win. Because what I think is going to happen is it's the Browns, but it ain't the same old Browns, man. We're going to have a fight. This is going to be a good game. I think this game is going to go down, maybe not to the last second, but the last minutes of the game. I see the Saints winning. Because after last week, I don't think any of them can sleep. They're going to be desperate in a good way, and I think they're going to come out and play. This is a good team, and I don't see us dominating them. Best case scenario, we beat them by maybe 8 to 10 points, but I'm predicting a 23-17 victory.
23-17 says DC in this matchup. 23-17, of course.
I don't think I got a point pick right yet, so nobody don't hold their breath on my prediction.
We called the game against Tampa Bay and said, well, there's no way the Saints lose this game. And, of course, they did lose it by 8 points. But I think this time around the Saints are getting smashed and knocked around in this game and dominated on the line of scrimmage. Defense was totally ineffective. I think this game around the Saints go into this week's preparation for the Browns way more serious, way more focused, way more determined to make it right. And I just feel the intensity. I watched, you listen to all the interviews from Marshawn Lattimore where he said he was angry after the performance that he had against the Buccaneers, in which he allowed Mike Evans to catch 4 passes for 115 yards and touchdown.
That sounds about right.
But he insisted a matter of technique issues that can be fixed and said, quote, "You got to take your losses like you take your wins." Going against a great player like that, I got him last year. He got the first game this year. We'll see him again, end quote. So with that mentality, and everybody's taking that way of thinking, most certainly I think the Browns could be in trouble here. You got a pissed off, angry Saints team where everybody basically put them down, and they deserve to be put down, to be honest with you. If there was a silver lining in this game, even if you hear the interviews from all of the core members of the defense and the team, period, they knew what time it was. They knew it was totally unacceptable for them to perform in that way with the expectations on them, the expectations of themselves as they see themselves as a Super Bowl contending team that has to beat the teams that are not playoff teams. Tampa Bay is not a playoff team. We all know this. Of course, the Tampa Bay fans would disagree with me, but I feel Tampa Bay is not a playoff team. New Orleans is not just a playoff team, but a divisional team that can get to the divisional rounds of defense. So at the end of the day, DC called his quote. He said they'll win 23-17. I say the Saints win 31-21 score. That's right, 31-21. New Orleans gets it done against the Cleveland Browns in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome on Sunday. So how you love that. 31-21, Big Q calls the score. There it is.
That'll work. And I think the Saints are going into this game, unlike the Tampa Bay game. I got a gut feeling that when they look at Tampa Bay on that schedule, how hard our schedule is on the middle of our schedule, I think we started looking past Tampa Bay, man, and we started preparing for other teams. We started, saying, okay, we got that one in the bag, and, start trying to move forward and do some extra stuff. And I think it us in the ass, man. And I don't think they're going to let that happen again with the Browns.
We'll see Tampa Bay in Week 13 as we will look for revenge in that game. According to NFC South standards right now, Tampa Bay sitting on top of the division along with Carolina in second place and third at 0-1. And Atlanta is also lost, so they sitting in the cellar as it stands early on. So Saints got Cleveland coming in. We made our calls. All right, well, we about to hit our break right now. When we come back, we're going to finish hitting all the topics. We're going to hit you with our Sports Coma question of the day and read replies from the previous question of the day. All on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Sports Coma. Big Q and the guys, stay with us.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Hit the link below and rep the black and gold today. Who that?
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And in this segment, we'll be breaking down and talking about the rest of the Cleveland Browns. We're going to hit you with our Sports Coma question of the day and also read replies from the previous question on this segment of the show. Now, without further ado, let's get into the second segment. Let's give you a little information about Cameron Meredith. According to Coach Sean Payton, Cameron Meredith is doing well from a health standpoint. Of course, you know, Austin Carr made a couple of catches in the game, and he was among the inactives in week 1 because, a quote, he's getting up to speed, end quote, after missing some time in training camp with an unspecified ailment. I think that anything else it had to do was just the reps. He was behind coming off of training camp. We'll see how he's doing this week. Peyton said it's just getting him up to speed from a timing element and getting him the reps that he needs to be ready to function and go out there and play consistently. So, yes, he did miss a lot of time in training camp. He came back, had some confidence issues. He looked good once he finally made that catch. He had a deep grab and a touchdown in that last game of the season. So it looked to me, Cameron Meredith started to really come on late, and we probably won't really see Cam Meredith really healthy and really making a solid contribution to the team probably until into the season. These first few weeks of games will be kind of his preseason ban that he missed so much time from that injury. So that's a little information on Cam Meredith. DC, you want to add a few things on that before we hit our question of the day?
Just to piggyback off that, man, I think you're absolutely right with Cam Meredith. I believe our bye week.
It's week 6. Yeah.
Cam Meredith definitely plays before that, but I don't think we see Cam Meredith really take form until after that. It's a complicated system. You got to get the timing down with Drew Brees, as well as Traquan Smith. And then you're going to have Mark Ingram coming back. I mean, man, if we can go ahead and just get these next 3 games under our belt and we back at 3-1, Atlanta won't be a easy task, but, you know, a game we can win nevertheless. If we can do that, and then you got these 2 guys, 2 new additions to the offense coming on, as I just stated, at about week 7. Sky's still the limit, y'all. So just got to tighten up this defense. We're going to see what we're going to do against these Brownies. So everybody, I want to see what they had to say about the Saints beating the Browns this time around, man. See if they're going to do it, because I definitely feel like they are. We got to see what the Sports Coma family got to say, because we got a lot of intelligent fans over there.
Man, we most certainly do, man. And I'm not going to lie, man. We got some real intelligent people listening, man. And I appreciate y'all for giving us the honor to be able to talk about the Saints with you guys and you guys be a part of the discussion. A lot of great commentary. And, of course, before we get to the Sports Coma question of the day, you know, we kind of read some of the replies from the previous Sports Coma questions. And the last question that we did ask people, was it a good idea to in hindsight, it's 2020, of course, right? But was it a good idea to release Bo Scott and Williams to the practice squad, then sign Mike Gillislee with limited amount of practice, with limited exposure to the playbook? Was it a good idea? And of course,
can I answer the question before you read?
Go right on ahead, my friend, because we got a lot of I got a lot of comments to read.
Our sports family is pretty smart, man.
They really are,
and
man.
I think they go with me. Hell no, it wasn't a good idea. We had all off season to figure this out, but we wait till a week before the goddamn opening game to sign somebody that fumbles and they run it back for a touchdown, and we don't give them the ball but 5 times. Hell no, that wasn't a good idea. We should have had this dealt with as soon as we found out Mark Ingram was getting suspended. They should have got somebody in here. They wanted to go to veteran like they did with Gillislee. We should have got somebody in here that we knew could handle the 4 games, and we should have had them up to speed by now, man. It's a horrible idea.
Well, let's see what some of the great commenters said. Here's from Quack Jones. Quack Jones said, I think it was. They gave old boy the job over experience, and by watching old boy mess up, he learned one mistake can cost you the whole game. And then of course, Quack Jones said, but trust, he will get called up if the Patriot do F's up in practice. So thank you, Mr. Quack Jones, for breaking that down, sir. You're absolutely right. We agree with you. The Saints don't play when it come down to fumbles, man. To be honest with you, we know that is nothing to get you in the doghouse quicker with Sean Payton to be a running back on this team. Not only making fumbles, but fumbles that turn into touchdowns that ultimately that score ended up deciding the game in the end. Okay, Jeff Champagne had a long comment that he said about it. He said that the fact that they abandoned the rushing game so early shows that they're not comfortable without Ingram. With Elvin Kamara targeted 17 and 3 to Gillislee speaks volumes. Passing receiving is what obviously kept us in the game. Our return game was not that well off either. With 3 returns averaging 23 isn't exactly the return game you want. He said, sit Tommy Lee and bring Boston up in the ranks to replace on returns and possibly a new reliable back, seeing how Gillislee didn't pan out all this game. There was no physicality on our corners. There was no checking. You have to disrupt the timing of the big man like Evans. I mean, Cam was taken completely out of the game, being doubled on just about every play. Very tough loss considering Tampa Bay is one of the easiest teams on our schedule. You have to win those. Post-bye is going to be tough to lose easy games like last Sunday. Love the show, guys. Keep it up. Keep it real. Jeff Champagne, thank you, my friend. That was a long comment, but hey, man, I agree with you absolutely 100%. Thumbs up to Jeff Champagne with that. He said a mouthful, but I can't disagree with anything you said. We echo your sentiment on the show. Thank you for your comment, brother. Let's go to Timothy Russ says signing Mike Gillislee was a bad move. The center for the Bucs was hugging our D-line every play. Once he snapped the ball, his left arm immediately comes up outside the defender's shoulder pads. Refs never called holding. What's up, Timothy Russ, my dog? He chiming in on it. Appreciate the comment, my man. He even went on to make another comment. He said, there's a play where Onyemata got pancake. Buck O-line must start our D-line is IHOP. A food reference there, Timothy. Anyway, I appreciate you, Tim, for chiming in, my man. Appreciate the love, brother. Good to hear from you. We were manhandled on the offensive line and the defensive line. Tampa Bay dominated the Saints, and when you don't control the line of scrimmage, you're going to have difficulties winning games, and plus you don't help the fact that you're turning the ball over. But it takes the life out of your team when you have a turnover like that or a drop ball on the third down conversion. If you're going to drop them on the first or second, and I don't advocate dropping it, but if you have to drop them, maybe the first and second downs are best, but never a touchdown and never a third down. And most certainly, if you're going for fourth down, that is most certainly frowned upon as well.
But the turnover, to me, was the defining or game-changing moment, because you got to realize it wasn't just 6 points, man. You know, it was a complete swing after that, man. Like, it just, the whole momentum was killed. That was a 14-point swing because they had just scored before that. And then you fumble, and then you give them another score. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just immediately put you for any type of confidence our defense could have built, and we could have built as a team to be able to move forward to, you know, kind of plug them holes, man, was killed with that turnover, in my opinion. It was demoralizing, and you're fighting to go in at halftime, not to tie the game up, but just to kind of get close to being able to stay in the game, as opposed to being, you know, close to taking the lead or tying it up. So I think that turnover, man, was way more crucial than that drop by Michael Thomas. All his fumbles.
But that's the questions of the day, the old questions of the day. And remember, people, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you guys think. Put it in the comment section. Answer today's Sports Coma question of the day, which is, will the Saints beat the Browns this time? And you say, of course, Q, that's a dumb question. No, it's not. No, it's not. The Saints have lost the last 2 contests against the Cleveland Browns. Now, that's not aberration. You can say, okay, the last time around. Right. So let's go back and remember that. That's why I had to kind of preference that, because it might sound like a simple question because you might be clouded by the fact that Browns have been bad. This is the type of stuff we've already underestimated Tampa Bay. Remember that. We can't, if any team on our schedule that is, we'll look at and say, well, we have the potential to underestimate a club, it's the Cleveland Browns. So we can't underestimate Cleveland this time around after we underestimated and played down to the competition of Tampa. Of course, I don't think that'll happen.
I had us losing to the Browns initially, man, but I had us winning the Tampa Bay game. I don't think that's going to happen now, so it all works out. But I didn't see us being able to win the Tampa Bay game and the Cleveland game. For the fact, all our Saints fans know, but we seem to play up and down to our competition. So anybody who's not aware of that, just keep the Saints out. When we play difficult teams that nobody expects us to beat, a lot of times we pull it out. But when we play the teams, when everybody give us a shoo-in, everybody say the Saints gonna win, that's when I get them.
Well, that'll do it for the show today. We'd like to thank y'all for listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Thank our new and established listeners for checking us out. If you enjoy the show, please go to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. You can make a donation one time or you can contribute on a monthly basis to empower the platform. Join all of our social media pages by going to the links below. And also you can show support for the show by going to our commercial tabs. So from me and DC and the crew here at the Sports Coma, thank you for joining us. As always, peace.
All right.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Media Network, who provides hours and hours of free edutainment to you and yours. If you are benefiting positively from our content, please donate to help us grow our platform by going to www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, and support the true independent artists.
Hello, Tiger fanatics. Are you ready for some football? If so, you need to head over to Fanatics. Click the link in the description section below and head over to get great deals on all LSU Tiger gear right now. Fanatics have all the great selection on everything Tigers. They have ladies and men's and children jerseys, footwear, t-shirts and dresses, golf and sports equipment, hats, pajamas and underwear, lawn and office gear, auto accessories, pet accessories, and much, much more. So if you're a Tiger and you want to show your Tiger spirit, click the link below and head over to Fanatics now to get all the top-notch LSU Tiger gear. And for 24 hours only, shipping will be free on all orders over just $29. Head over now and click the link in the description section below and be ready in style. Go Tigers.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
There's a reason this office canceled Casual Friday. Why this guy is getting cut out of the will. And why sibling rivalries really exist. There's a reason he's always Employee of the Month. And why no shirt and no shoes is no problem. There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAstore.com has all the gear.
What's up, sports world? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, poshlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics, and healing crystals. Personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace spray. Organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to theposhlifestyle.com. That's The Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE style.com. Put in The Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with The Posh Lifestyle.